Again, this, and you have a copy of the PowerPoint, so that will help you in knowing anything that comes up. If you have any question about it, just call me, because we'll go through and we've made decisions on everything, and if you don't catch it or we forget to mention it, well, I can tell you what the decision was. Anything we're not, you will not have to disqualify anyone. If there's anything like that that happens, it'll be happened above your echelon. There's a committee that meets on anything that comes up like that, and we will make that decision. So it's not going to fall on you. Again, if there's any issue, okay, most of you are going to score 10 points, and none of it is subjective. It's all either things we're giving them the points for, or you count the number of pages in their portfolio, and if they have this many pages, they get this many points. It's very specific. You can check all the required paperwork. It's supposed to be in PDF format. It's supposed to be viewable, and then you have a list of all the portfolio requirements. You should have all the rules for the contest, as well as there's something else in there besides the rules for the contest, besides your rubric. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place right now. Of course, my phone's going to do. Okay, that's good news though. Okay, on their information sheet in the participant materials, some of them will put their region in the state, 1, 2, or 3, and some of them will put the national region. And we aren't, either one of those is acceptable. If it asks for the region, whatever they put for this, accept it. You're going to circle the type of portfolio selected on the point summary or mark it. There will not be any online orientations at the state level, so they're automatically going to receive those points. There's 3 points for the registration packet on some of it. They're automatically going to get that as long as they turned in their materials. They didn't turn in the materials, then they get a 0. Okay, this is what your summary sheet looks like. And all of them are a little bit different. This one, they get points for the registration packet. They get points for the orientation. Then they have to have the type of portfolio. And I will tell you this, because this is all done on Judge Pro, all you have to do is hit the number. And there'll be a box around the number, and you hit that, and it's going to put the points over in the column on the right-hand side. Then you're going to count the portfolio pages, and you're going to give them the points for punctuality, for a total of so that would be between 7 and 10 points. And then you're going to average the other 3 scores, or the computer's going to average them. You're just going to make sure it's doing it correctly. And you're going to add your 10 points to it to determine their score.
Hey, Gail, can I add a few things?
Yes.
Okay, you do not count off if they're not an official FCCLA binder, because you're not going to be able to see that since it's virtual. So the electronic portfolio will look like a PowerPoint, whereas a binder will look like a PDF, whatever. So either one, we are not counting off if it's not an official FCCLA binder, because we cannot see that. Okay,
because that's on the end of it, and you're not
Yes.
gonna be able to see that.
Right. Well, yes. And when they download all that information, you're not gonna see it in a binder period. So, so do not count off. If you can open it up and view it, they automatically get that point regardless. Okay. The other thing is your Judge Pro sheet is not going to look exactly like this. It's going to be all computerized. So you're not going to have to put scores into the bottom of this sheet. You'll put it in the tally sheet, which she'll show you in a minute. I just wanted to clarify. Thanks.
Okay, you're gonna double check to see that a point value is assigned for all criteria. Is real easy, especially on some of them, have a lot of different things they're getting points for. And it's real easy for them to miss a point or miss a line. We need no blank scores. If they did not have that at all, so they want to give a 0, then they need to hit the 0. You're going to read over the judge's comments to make sure they are positive and constructive. If you have one that somebody's written something that's not good, like I had a judge write one time, I had a student that had an accent, and a judge told her that if she had an accent, she shouldn't be doing that. That's not appropriate. If you come across something like that, contact me. They are going to, almost everyone, I think there's one contest left that if everything is there, won't advance. But they only advance if they have a 70 or above. So, and that's counting your 10 points. So you're going to pay a special attention to that. And then on the evaluation sheet, we want the judging to be within 10 points of each other, because it's really hard for a kid when they get one judge gives them a 98 and one judge gives them a 32. They can't understand that.
Gail, I have a question about that.
Okay.
If we, and maybe I don't understand the timeline of how this all works, but if we've got a big split like that or something that's inappropriate in the judge's comments, how do we get back in touch with that judge and make it all mesh up?
Okay, you will have a way to contact the judge through your login that you're going to get in a minute. It's going to show you how to log in.
Okay,
and get back and you can.
They'll be doing it at different times, is that right? Or they have the opportunity?
Yes.
Okay.
No, but except for job interview, they'll be doing it at different times. So you have to wait till you get all of them, because you may have between this one and this, between A and C, there may be 15 points difference, but B may be in the middle. So you're okay. And they don't, and most of them will judge, one of them will drop a little bit. We want to make sure that the final first and second is the way they want it to be. So
now I've always thought that in the past, and we've always done this, is that that 10-point spread is among all the judges. So even if, it doesn't matter that there's one in the middle, the high and the low spread 10 is changed.
Well, Donna, what do you think? Because we've always done it the other way.
Now, especially with this year, if it's very close or within 15 between the three of them, we're going to be good. Does that make sense? And so use your judgment on that. I am not going to call back if it's like 2 points apart from each other within that 10.
Because if your first, second judge are 10 points apart, and then your second and third judge are another 10 points apart, that's 20 already.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So in that case, you can reach out to Gail or myself. I prefer Gail right now, but reach out to her because she can reach back to me if we need to discuss it. And then we can find out and guide you on that if there's a question on that. To be honest, most of the time, we rarely have that problem. Well, I didn't have that much problem with it in virtual. I don't know why, unless you get someone like my daughter that we did not hire. I told her she couldn't judge for this because she's too critical. Anyway, but you might get one like that, but I don't know if that's the case. If that is, then let us know. Also, if you have problems getting a hold of the judges, you contact us. If they don't respond back to you, you contact us, we will contact them. Okay. We're not going to have you constantly contacting them. If they don't contact you within once or twice, then you contact us, because the way you're going to contact them is through their email. So if they're not responding back to you, then you need to let us know.
Okay. Thanks.
Most of the time on the ones, and I've judged some for some other states this year, and most of the time it's real clear cut, like the ones that I just did for Texas, it was clear which was first, second, and third. So, I think an important thing is we want to adjust in a way that keeps who they think should be first and who that think they should be second. I think that's the most important thing. Okay, any other questions? Okay. This is how you're going to get in. You're going to log into the judge evaluation site. You're going to use your personal email. And then you notice this is all capitals. NMV state 2021. And that's the most important thing, is to notice that it's all capitals. And then you hit submit, and that gets you in. When you get in, it's going to look like this. And it's going to have some of you have, well, the person that has 6 entries has 1 event, but everybody else has 2 or 3. But nobody has more than 3 in the same event. But it's going to tell you how many you have, what evaluator you are, or it'll have evaluator in the room consultant. And you select, and that way you can see what they've turned in. They're not going to turn it in to you, submit it to you, until they have done, if they have, like Colby, you have the 6 nice skills, they're going to do, there's 5 in level 1, and all 5 they're going to do all 5 of them before they submit it to you. And then on level 6 or on level 3, you have the 6th one, and they're going to send it as soon as they get that. They're not going to send them a page at a time or an event at a time. Now, they may send you the leadership today, and they may send teach and train tomorrow, but that basically they're going to wait until they have that particular event finished before they send it.
And the other thing is, make sure you're clicking on room consultant. That's what's going to take you to the thing, and not evaluator 2. If you go into the evaluators, though, you can see if they've even looked at them. If you notice that we're getting close, they have 2 weekends. We have this weekend and they have next weekend. And you're noticing that towards the end of next week, they haven't even looked at it. Would you please let us know so we can contact them and make sure that they're judging? Okay, we're going to keep
Make sure they have their stuff.
Yeah, Robin is keeping an eye on it, but if you notice something like that, we need to know that as well.
Some of them are going to be like I was. I had like 48 hours to do mine, and I had them done in about 6 because I didn't want to be the person that they were waiting on. So, okay. Then you can look and you can view the evaluation that's been done. You see their score, and you're going to have a tally sheet that comes up, and you'll take their 57 and put it on the tally sheet.
Do you want me to go to the tally sheet?
Well, you can switch from event to event, or you
Okay,
can switch back and forth. You can go back without saving it. If you do that, you'll have to start all over. So you want to, I always wanted to be sure I saved it. Okay, this shows the event pages, and the student project attachments is the one that you're going to go to look at their portfolio or to look in their file folder and see if they have the things you're giving them points on. You can go in and see the presentation if you want to. When I did this, I didn't go look at the presentations. I did this for national, and I didn't go look at the presentations, but I did look at their attachments so that I could give points correctly. Okay, again, you're just going to, like it says, registration packet. We said we were going to give everybody the points. So you just come over and you click on the yes, and it automatically puts the 3. It would not let me put numbers over in the points column. I had to click on the box around the number in the rubric. They get points for the online orientation. You're going to count the pages, and it tells you exactly what they're supposed to have. So if they have no errors, they get the 3. If they have 1 error, they don't have, say, the planning process summary page, then that's 1 error. If they don't have the divider pages, that's 2 errors. And if they have more than 2 errors, then you give them a 0. And everybody gets points for punctuality. And this is what your tally sheet looks like. You keep your judges straight, and you're just going to put their numbers in here. And you have 3 evaluators. Then you're going to average the score. And then you're going to put your points that you gave them, which is going on this one would have been between 7 and 10. You're going to put that number, and it's going to give you a final score for them. And then you can rank the place. And like I said, on most of them, it's going to be first and second. There are absolutely no ties. You cannot have a tie, especially this year, because most of them are advancing. Like I said, I think there's 1 event that has 3 people in the same level, and that's the only time. Everyone else, we had like 3 or 4 of them, and everybody else, we've had people drop. So, but the first and second is important.
So there's 5 of them though for knife skills and level 1 though, right?
Right, but that is not an advancing contest.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Yes, but again, we want a place. We don't want any ties. If we were doing this in person, if we had like 10, we would want no ties down through 10. So that if something happens where we have to take somebody out, or somebody's missing something or whatever, we find out there's a problem and we have to pull one out. Or sometimes you have people that can't, when they're going to national in person, sometimes you have people that can't go and you have to pull somebody up. I've had a student, when we only took 1 in each event, I've had a student that got to go that placed second. So that's real important. You don't have to worry about the initials. If they type in their comments, this is where you're going to see those, and you can see what they said. I always like for them to be relatively positive in, well, when I judge, I always try to have a positive comment. You know, you picked a really good topic, or, you know, something, your display board is beautiful, you know, something positive. Then anything that they need to change, I usually put it in the form of a positive comment, like, you might consider all tucking in your shirts because it's a more professional look. I judged a group of kids that had their white collared shirts on, but their tails were sticking out and they looked a mess. But I didn't say that. I said, you know, tucking your shirt tails in gives a more professional look and will help you score better. But as long as it's not something that is insulting or, you know, totally inappropriate, their comments are what their comments. If you have something you have questions about, contact me and we will take care of it. You will not have to be the one that takes care of that. Again, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You finish.
I was just going to say, again, we're emphasizing about the point spread between the judges.
And I just want to clarify, the reason I'm giving you some leeway on that is because it's virtually. If they were in person, I wouldn't give any leeway on it. I would say no, point spreads within 3 should be 10 points. So Cheryl, you're right. But with it being virtual, I let's get some leeway here because the judges are not going to be seeing each other. That's the catch there. So just FYI.
When I judged in person, after I've retired and I've judged at national, it always helped me when we were all sitting there and we were all checking to see if we were kind of on the same wavelength as we went along. You know, they might score 7 on something I scored 5 on, but then they scored 6 on something I gave an 8, you know, so it stayed close. Disqualification is not something that you will have to worry about at all. The management team, there's 4 people on the management team, and we all meet to decide something like that. So it's not something that you have to worry about at all. You just have to let us know that there's an issue so that we can meet about it. They cannot take off points for something that's not on the rubric. Sometimes there are things that they just don't like, and maybe it shouldn't be there, but if it's not on the rubric, you can't take points off for it. Keep evaluators on time in just that we want to make sure that you're not up at 11 o'clock on the 9th trying to get stuff in from your judges. We want to say something to them before that so you don't have to worry about it at the last minute. All the final rankings are totally confidential. Don't talk about them with anybody. The judges know how they scored, but you don't discuss it with your friend that's their advisor or somebody that you know that knows them or anything like that. You're going to keep it to yourself until the awards ceremony. It needs to be a surprise to everybody. You will get a professional development certificate mailed to you. I know some of you, your school, you have to have so many hours of professional development, and those will be mailed out to you after. And even if your school does not require them, I would keep up with them. Because even if New Mexico, I don't know whether New Mexico requires a lot of that, but there are states that do, several of them. And so if you have those where you can prove that you've had some professional development, it can help you get a job. Okay, any questions? Again, we appreciate you doing this. It's not a hard job, I promise. It's not even a hard job if you're up at 11 on the last day, because I've done that. It's just a matter of.
Now, Gail, did you tell them they have until the 11th? Yes.
Get your part to get it all turned in, and it submits to me, and then I submit it on.
Okay, so it's due by the 11th?
To me, the judge's stuff is due by the 9th to you, and then you have till the 11th to get it to me. If you're finished with it, go ahead and send it, but it's not late until after 5 o'clock on the 11th.
Okay.
How do we find the link to the site? The judging
Get
site.
an email from Robin.
Yeah, there was an email.
If
Yeah, I think you got a.
if not, then we can you can share the PowerPoint, Gail.
Yeah,
I can,
you have the PowerPoint.
and it's on the
but
PowerPoint.
I think Robin sent an email. Oh, I don't think she sent an email. I think once she hit send, I think the system sent an email. But it's in this PowerPoint, and I sent you the PowerPoint yesterday along with the Zoom link.
And the password's in the PowerPoint as well.
Yes.
And if you have any problems getting in, you contact Gail or you contact Robin, and they'll help you. Please, please, please do not hesitate to ask questions. If you're having problems or whatever, we'll help you along. If you can't get them, you can contact me.
I totally appreciate so many of you were so quick on the spot. Yes, I'll help. And I got down to one spot. And so I appreciate all of you.
Problem.
Like I said, and this is so much easier than doing it in person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in person, you're going to sit there all day. Yeah. You know,
I always did lesson plans. I did lesson plans and grading while I was doing it. So, but it's a good way to just get to know your events. That's the thing I liked about Leader Consultants. This is where I learned the different events and how they were ran and what they're supposed to look like. Is because I was a lead consultant, so I got to see all of them and didn't have to worry about judging. I could actually watch and just enjoy, and just double check the judges' scores and stuff. So it was not as
and
quick.
you can see things right away
Mm-hmm.
that make you think about things your kids are doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like you have a kid that sits there and rocks back and forth, between legs. Well, it doesn't take you long. And before uniforms, my kids competed in black suits. And you'd sit there and look at what some people came in, and you would see the difference. The bottom line is this is a professional presentation, no matter what the event is. The event itself may not be. Food innovations, teach and train, toys that teach, some of those are not the event. The project itself is not necessarily a professional thing, but they're presenting about what they did, and that is. again, the dress code, if this comes up with your judges, they do not have to be totally in the dress code for the meeting, but they have to be dressed professionally, or some of them have to be dressed in something appropriate. So some of them will come in costumes.
Yeah, you need to check your rules on that.
Yeah, check your rules.
Make sure it has, because it has specifically how they're supposed to dress for that. So
So mine
Okay.
are probably going to be chef's attire.
yes, yes.
Yes.
But
And on the chef's,
they don't have to have that, do they?
I don't think so
believe
in I don't think so in life skills, but I don't know. Check the
life
rules.
skills.
Okay.
But on the pastry and the
Culinary,
pastry
they do.
arts,
The culinary, right.
and it has a checklist. They have to have the chef coat, the pants, the shoes, you know, all that. But look at your rules, Kobe.
Okay. And those, I'm sorry, I was on a
They
phone
will
call.
be in your, when you get in your site at
Okay.
the top, your rules will be up there.
Okay.
Okay, Colby, I couldn't. When you get in there, if you do not find the rules there, would you let me know?
I will.
Okay, because I was looking at the other day and I was going, I don't see the rules for the state events. So I don't know who has intermediate childcare and who has pastry arts. I think Megan has pastry arts.
Megan has pastry arts, and
Is
who
it
has focus on children?
it's the one that we can print out, right? It's the
Yes.
the rubric basically that we've used for our students to show them about the event and all that kind of stuff.
Right there, but there should be rules, because we have the state rules and stuff. And if for some reason it's not there, I just need you to let me know, because
Okay.
that means that DLG didn't load it up right, and I've got to let them know.
Okay.
So we either can send it to the judges, or we got to get them to load it up right. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So if you'll double check that, and Megan, if you'll do it, and who's doing intermediate, who's doing focus on children and
Who's doing
intermediate?
focus on children and intermediate?
I've got those.
Okay,
I was
Cheryl,
gonna
if you'll check those and make sure you see the rules in there. Now, the system is open. It opened up today.
Oh, that's what I was
So-
going to ask you when we were
Yeah.
going to be able to get in. Okay.
You can get in as of today. So and then we won't shut it down until the 11th for you guys. But anyway, if you'll make sure those rules are there, because I was looking at them and I was going, I don't know if they're there for the state events. So if they're not, I need to know that.
Can I ask a real quick question?
Yes.
We normally have Creed presentation. Did we suspend that just this year because it's all virtual?
No. No one entered in that one.
Okay, so that's just because there was no interest today?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Now we did
The one
suspend the sketching and the interior design and the fashion one because of virtual. That's the one we did. Those two we did suspend because of virtual.
Okay, and I take it thematic promotion as well because it was virtual? Okay.
Yes.
We have a large number that we just had no entries in. And,
Gotcha.
and all states that I've talked to, and I've talked to several of them because I've been helping in LifeSmart stuff, they're all having the same problem we are.
Yeah.
Some of them have even been face to face the whole time, and they're not having it because they're face to face, but their school's not allowing them to travel, so they're having to do it virtually. So
Right.
So it's just a tough year.
I've got the one doing baking and pastry arts. So, and it's like, I don't know, even if she qualifies, I don't know if we'll be able to go to nationals.
That's all right.
Because it's
it
like,
still says first in state, which is
Well, baking and pastry is the one. Baking and pastry and culinary arts are the two events that they're doing live at national. The rest of them will be virtual. So if for some reason if she qualifies with a 70 or higher, she qualifies. And if she doesn't go, then she doesn't go. But she's the only one is what I'm telling you. So that's why I was telling you, you have a strong possibility of actually going. And like I said, there's limited number at national this year. Very limited. It's only going to be held at the Omni Hotel. So they have 700 rooms is all. I mean, that's it. I mean, that's all they're limiting to. It's going to be very, very small. So
Yeah, because it's like right now, in our account, we only have like $2,100 in
Mhm.
our account, and I kind of estimated, the cost, and I'm like, okay, that's going to be like $2,500 for her and and I don't want to leave the incoming teacher with nothing.
exactly. No. I get you, Patricia, and that's fine as long as your student's okay with that too. Y'all don't
Yeah,
have to compete at national.
Yeah, and this year is our off year because we usually go every other year.
Okay.
So, and she'll be a senior next year. So, and that'll be San Diego. And I said, oh, that'll be so much more fun. we had
Yeah.
fun. when we went to
Nashville's
San
not
Diego.
bad.
What?
Nashville.
Nashville's not bad. I've been to Nashville like 4 times. It's too bad. There
No,
are some
it's
fun
not.
things to do.
But there's again, it's just going to be limited. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
And I read on the national website that they're not going to have any tours. They're not going to have
Right.
this, that. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's what a
No.
lot of times my kids want to do. They want to go see this
Mm.
stuff. So,
Well, and
yeah.
I don't know whether I don't think they're having the group party. I don't think they're
No.
having a
they're
gala.
not having a gala. They're not
No.
having none of it.
So the main thing they're doing is they're just doing professional development. That's it. Leadership development for students and professional development for advisors. That's all they're having. I mean, that's all they can have. And if you wanted to come and do whatever. So,
Well, they're
Um,
tied not only to what all the states are doing, but Tennessee has specific things that may or may not change. And so they have to base what they're doing on what the rules are right now.
exactly. And so Sandy went this week. She was supposed to go last week, but the storm stopped her. So she went this week to Nashville, and we'll get a full report next week of what exactly they can and can't do, because that's what they went for this week, was to find out, because you can say one thing, but until they get there and they can really see what's open and what's not, then that's what we're going to do. So anyhow.
Well, you can imagine somebody coming into New Mexico, in the last month, all kinds of things changed.
Mm-hmm.
So
So anyway, we'll see what happens, and we're going to grin and bear it, and pray that this too shall soon pass, and pray that we'll be in person next fall. That's what I'm praying for right now.
yes.
So.
Again, thank you all very much. You have my phone number. You have my email. Either one.
Okay. So we should be able to log into the judge's site now
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
with our email that you guys have on file.
Yes.
It's the email. Yes.
Okay.
And
I'm
if
not
you have-
able to get in.
It's the email that I emailed you at. Imagine that you got the stuff from me.
She
to
put
go
it-
on.
And that password should be all caps,
Mhm.
the 2021.
Yes, 'cause
NMV
my
state.
username or password is not correct.
Okay, let me go in. I can go in and check it, Ellie. Let me do that here in a minute after we get through the call. So, and if y'all have that problem, Robin is really the best one to reach out to, not me.
On
But
that.
I
had to
can-
change my
I can get in
password
there.
today.
So I can get in there, but I'm telling you, it's
Okay.
Robin's the best. But and that's why we sent you the PowerPoint with her information too, because she's the one directly working on it. I try to stay out of it because every time I get into it, I mess her up. So I'm just like, ah. But I'll go in and see, and then I'll tell Robin, Ellie can't get in. Help her.
And
Okie
I have
dokie.
another question
Uh-huh.
Okay.
that's not related to this though.
Okay.
I have 2 students that joined my class mid-year.
Mhm.
Can I still affiliate them?
Yes.
Yes.
So I just go in and do the whole affiliation process again?
Because don't you have the,
$1,000,
Yeah,
everybody.
you can affiliate up to May 15th.
okay.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank y'all
I
again.
think Gail did a good job. Woohoo!
No, I was all over the place. I'm sorry.
No, you did a great
My
job.
mind is
So,
just out in Neverland.
hey, it's the same as all of us. All of us are there. So, okay. Well, you guys, if there's no more questions, I will see you guys later. And I do mean it. Reach out to us if you have problems. Please, 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 please don't struggle with it, and don't get frustrated or whatever. If you get to that point, just go away and says, "Hey, I can't do this. So, and I'm having problems with this," and then we can help you along. Okay.
Okay.
It's really not as hard as it looks. It's just getting into, once you get in the system and everything, it's really good. So Ellie will figure out why you can't. Okay.
Gail, is it okay to text you on your number?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Same with me too.
Sounds good. All right.